pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone can be seated. Thank you all for coming this evening. So we're going to start with, we have two public hearings. The first one is the public hearing for proposed local law number 2 of 2025, off-road vehicles. Kathleen, you have the notice that was in the newspaper. So we have the public notice that it was in the newspaper, and there's also copies of the law. Just a recap, this has been going on for, I don't know, 6 to 7 months now. We've had a couple public hearings on this. We've been fine-tuning it. I think this is a good compromise. This would limit this law to SR2 zones, and even in an SR2 zone, you'd have to have less than more than 3 acres to be exempt from it. Again, this doesn't ban ATVs, just so everyone's clear. This just prohibits its use in certain fashions. We listened, we carved out the work end of it, so snow plowing and farm work wouldn't be affected. But again, it only is the SR2 zone, so basically it would involve the Hidden Valley area, Lake Linda area, half of Mill Pond Road and up around Mine Hill, and then a little bit off of before you get to Bull on Old Mountain Road. So those are the areas. So if any members of the public would like to come up and speak on this, if you could come up, just say your name for the record, and we'll limit it to 3 minutes the first go round, and if anyone has anything else after that, they can we'll do a second go round. So if anyone would like to come up and speak, members of the public, okay. Board members, Jim? No. Carrie, Amanda?
I think we made a lot of adjustments, and I think at a good point now. I think Scott for all his help with this.
Good. All right. So need a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I'd like to call public hearing for proposed local law number 3 of 2025 to order. This is the peddling law. This was something that we didn't realize, that we didn't have an exception to the peddler's law for town-sponsored events. So it came up when we started looking for vendors for the bicentennial celebration. So this change only adds an exception to needing a peddler's permit to events sponsored by the town of Mount Hope. So we will call that public hearing to order, and if any members of the public would like to come forward and speak on that, please say your name, and you have 3 minutes. Any members of the public? No? Okay. I'll start on this side. Amanda, do you have anything?
No.
Carrie?
No.
Chris? So, Jim?
Just clarification, which law number is this, Kathleen? Just the third?
This will be number,
3.
well, it'll be number 3 if number 2 passes.
No, so
Otherwise,
number 2 is
number 2 is the off-road vehicles.
Okay, because the paperwork says number 1.
We had.
Because we've had so many
Okay.
changes.
So make
and-
sure, doing
yeah.
clarification, okay. So I'm fine, that's all.
Okay, perfect. So I need a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We'll go into the regular April 21st, 2025 meeting. Need a motion to accept the prior minutes from April 7th.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Correspondence from the town clerk.
All I have is the budget modifications from 4/21, the trash report for spring of 2025, and the resolution for the town park /pad reserve fund. That's all I have.
Awesome, thank you. So unless anyone objects on the board, I'd like to just change this agenda and move up new business A to this point. Any objection to that? All right. So 2 weeks ago, I had the honors, the first time I went to the honor flight ceremony over in Newburgh and Stewart Airport, and it was a very moving and emotional event for me, and I'm sure for you. So we had 3 town residents that were on that honor flight, and I thought it would be a nice to recognize them here at the meeting. So we've invited all 3. 2 of them are with us tonight. Edward Zamet
and Leo Ortiz. And I know Brian also wanted to recognize them from the village, so we figured we'd do it all in the first night. So if you want to step up, and if everyone wants to come down, and we'll... Come on up.
Oh, in the front, oh, no.
Up in the front.
Firing squad, all right.
So, they both say the same, but I'll just give yours first. So this is a certificate of honor and gratitude in recognition for your selfless service and unwavering dedication to the United States of America, and we proudly honor Leo Ortiz. The Town of Mount Hope expresses our deepest appreciation for your invaluable service and takes immense pride in your participation in the Honor Flight program.
Oh, beautiful, thank you so much.
Thank you for all
Thank
your
you.
service. And then for Edward, it's the same, but I'll read it to you as well. So in recognition of your selfless service and unwavering dedication to the United States of America, we proudly honor you, and we express our deepest appreciation for your invaluable service and take immense pride in your participation in the Honor Flight program as well. So congratulations. Thank you. Oh, Brian, you want to do yours first?
I have a picture for you.
Oh, thank you.
So you remember who gave you this award.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
This is a certificate. It's in recognition of your service to the United States of America and your honor flight, mission number 35. We proudly honor Leo Ortiz. And I'm going to get to you in 2 seconds. Okay. You've helped make this world a better place with your courage, sacrifice, and dedication to our country. You are truly a hometown hero.
Thank you.
You get a picture too. Don't compare pictures because they're the same pictures. And we just happen to get you two at the same time. And this is for Edward.
Thank you very
much. Thank you very much.
Jump in here, Jim, Amanda, get around. Look at Scott. And now look at Marie. Thank you guys for coming. You're more than welcome to stay, but if you want to leave, if you want to say anything.
I just want to thank everybody in the town. I've been living here 31 years and I love it here. And you know, so it's very honorable. And I have some applications. Anybody, if you can find somebody who wants to go on an honor flight, I have applications there. So they could go, you know,
Can we leave these with Kathleen?
Of course. A veteran might show up, you know, they want to go on it. You know, all veterans should be allowed to go. I mean, they're all allowed to go, any period. And you'll have a beautiful experience. I mean, I did anyway. It was beautiful. I loved it, you know. And I had a caretaker that moved me around and everything was very nice, yeah.
The whole staff was fantastic. I mean, they did everything and anything the only thing that sucked about it, and I'll say it, was that the weather was bad.
It was
We
snowing in the morning.
We had 10 minutes of sunlight all day we were there. And we said, you know what? We could do without it. We lived without it before, we can do it again. But if anybody does want to go, tell them they're free to call Leo or myself, and we will guide them through anything they need to go to the honor flight. It was a pleasure for us, and I want everybody else that can do it, to do it before we go.
All I want to add, I just want to add one thing to what you guys have to say. Unfortunately, we only knew Leo was going because they don't release a list of people that go. And
Right,
unfortunately, anyone who lives in the town of Mount Hope is technically classified as Middletown, not you, because you live on the Otisville side. But if you guys ever know anyone going forward from town of Mount Hope or Otisville, please let us know.
Oh, yeah,
Because
definitely,
unfortunately, we were all gung-ho about Leo, and then we heard all about you.
then we met Jim
Which was
there.
also Jimmy, but,
Jimmy,
yes,
yeah.
and Jimmy, yes.
Jimmy.
But,
Jimmy, Jimmy,
yes.
Mr. Lucaci, yep.
Leo's only been here 30 years, I've only been here 40 years. And
Well, you weren't forgotten, that's for sure.
Thank you so much.
Definitely weren't
Thank you,
forgotten.
yes,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
He's gotta use his leg.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. And Jim Lucardi also was a participant, and we have his certificate, and if we can get him to the next meeting, we'll have him here. If not, then we'll certainly get this to him. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Committee reports, board member reports. So first up, I got a couple items. So, I had a couple questions, people were asking about the increase in insurance. So, I didn't know this, I had a little beef with the insurance company. So the lawsuit from a couple of years back, with the incident at the treadmill, the insurance company settled that. So, they were supposed to tell us, I guess it wasn't a requirement, but they did end up settling that. So that's one of the factors in our insurance going up. Tuesday night, we're having our second round of interviews for the recreation aid. Myself and Chris, we have three, they just happen to all three be college students. We'll be doing that via Zoom because they're away at school still. And hopefully we'll have a vote at the next town board meeting when we have a finalist. The chairs and tables for the senior center came in. The seniors seemed very happy, Diane. I went over there and that was great. And we have the folding metal chairs and we're gonna swap them out. Andrew's guys were nice enough to bring them up there and we'll take care of that. And then just thank the Little League for the parade on Saturday. It was great. I was just through there today. There was a ton of people up at the fields playing tonight. So I spoke to Mike, the police chief, and he's gonna make sure there's a police car driving through there, because I know that's come up a couple times, but the crowd looked great. So I'll start on my left, Jim.
Just want to thank everybody for the team out to support the egg hunt, the town Lions Club egg hunt, the board members, the police department, and also the fire department for helping out bringing the Easter Bunny down. It was a good turnout. The kids had a lot of fun. The only question I had was, when are we going to start applying for the that help, that part-time help at the golf course?
One of the things we were talking about when we spoke to Andrew, like if we hire the 8th person, do we need it? So
Okay.
we're gonna have that discussion.
I know it was part of the budget as well.
Yeah. Chris?
Couple things, I'm gonna reiterate on the honor flight, if you've never been to it, or, wanna just experience something, this was the second time I've been, and, it is a very moving moment, and, I like to, make sure if you have a chance to go, it's very early in the morning, or it's 8 o'clock at night, usually they come back in, and, it's just something to experience for those guys, so I wanna thank, Hudson Valley Honor Flight for doing that, because they do a great job with it. Little League Parade, we all were at, great day. I wanna thank the Howells Fire Department, the Otisville Fire Department, and our police department. New York State Police were there as well, and we did have some sheriffs from the Sheriff's Department, and it's just nice to keep traditions going in the community, so that was a great thing. The egg hunt, I wanna thank the Lions for that, and, Andrew, I wanna thank you. When we had that storm, we were like doing pretty good. I know the guys, you said the guys were out like at 4:30. 211 wasn't even plowed when we left to go that morning, and it was great. And by the time we got back, it looked like they had just plowed it, so that was, so tell the guys, great job. There's a couple things I'm gonna bring to the board next meeting about in the park. And also our banner that we have for the concert series, I'm gonna pick that up this week and take it down to get an estimate for putting the heavier material on the top because the eyelets are ripping.
Oh, okay.
So I'll get a price on that and I'll bring that back on for our next meeting. And that's it.
Great. Carrie?
Also just wanted to thank the Lions Club and the Easter Bunny for stopping by the Easter egg hunt. I think it went well, even though we had to postpone it a day. Also, Little League opening day was great. The weather 2 Saturdays apart was kind of extreme. Andrew, I also thank you to your guys for one more storm. I know couldn't have been fun putting the plows back on early that Saturday morning. If you haven't been following the town recreation page on Facebook, they're off to a great start. They had some great activities last week for spring break, which have been well attended. From the village, there is an Earth Day tree planting this Saturday, the 26th at 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. The Parks Committee, we had a meeting last week at the park. I'm gonna send everybody a list. We walked around, there's kind of has some suggestions that things that we could do. I think some of them we could possibly work on this year. They're inexpensive. Other ones I think we need to consider for the budgeting for next year. I know we're doing a splash pad, so I don't wanna go too crazy. But 2 of the things I thought possibly we could do now is they mentioned additional benches, which I know we used to have a bench dedication program, so maybe we could look into starting that again. And the other was a native planting area for bird watching and sitting, which I know Orange and Rockland has a program which we had met with them and the village is doing right now. I don't know if they would still be interested in doing that this year,
I'm
but,
waiting to hear back on that.
okay. And then, I know we've mentioned before, we have the 8 folding chairs across the back row of the boardroom, looking at possibly replacing those for 8 chairs that would match the rest of the chairs, so we'd all have normal padded chairs, it would be $568. So, let me see if we could go ahead and order those. I think that's all I have.
All right. We wanna just address that right now, make a
Yeah.
motion to purchase the 8 chairs for $568?
I'll
Carrie
make
making
the
a
motion,
motion,
yes.
second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Amanda, you're up?
Not much, just there is a Asian American Chinese Association meeting, I believe it's at 7, is that correct, Brian? 7 PM, this Thursday at Village Hall. That's it.
Okay, cool. Highway report, Andrew.
So I'd just like to thank everybody again, the workers on the highway and just for the snowstorm, and then we went right back into junk again. We opened up as soon as we could when we were done plowing, and, also thank you for the highway guys again for the park and getting everything ready for the field that we do have, and also the park and everything going with that. And also I'd like to thank, Amy for all of her hard years, she's been here 16 years with the highway, and I believe also, another couple of years with 21 total with the town clerk. And I just want to thank her for helping me out so long that I've been here, and, just hope she enjoys her retirement, and thank you again for everything.
Mike, you're up.
Not too much tonight. 154, we dropped off the Star for repairs for some deer damage. Hopefully we'll get back that soon. I interviewed 2 candidates for the DCO position, so we're going through that now. Maybe possibly hiring both, one as the alternate or as a backup. So we'll see as we go into their background if that's gonna be a possibility. We're also in the middle of doing a background for potential full-time transfer. So I'll keep you updated on that as that goes along. But once we get to the point where maybe we can have that interview with you guys and set it up with you guys. DC and I attended accreditation training earlier in the month, and went well. I would like to discuss at some point with the board, maybe possibly going forward with that. There's not a financial burden, so that's a good thing. And it will just improve overall operational efficiency and get us, we do a lot of things now that will help us along to get there faster. But just to be recognized as that, has some benefits, so.
Okay, cool.
And that's it, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Mike or Andrew? No? All right, great, thanks. Recreation report, so as we spoke to Kathleen, she's doing a great job, Carrie touched on it. Last week we had, during the spring break week, we had over 25 people at the Lego Club, we had over 30 people at the pop-up craft event, the play group had 20, so it's going well. We're gonna be rolling out other things as we go. I know she's been working with Marie, trying to come up with some other planning, so she's hit the ground running and it's going well. Village of Otisville, Brian?
Happy Earth Day, since today's Earth Day. Also, we had 76 people at the DMV bus on Friday. They actually had to turn people away. So the message from the clerk's people, or they had to turn people away because they didn't have enough time there, they leave at 3:30, so some people got turned away. The message from the clerk's office is to please, if you're going to get your license, look to see what paperwork you need to have filled out before you get there. We typically have 20, 22, I think one time I saw 24. I actually posted a picture, I couldn't get over how long the line was, but 76 total transactions. They were busy the entire time they were there. So,
That's crazy.
that's it.
All right, thank you. Old business, Hidden Valley. So I spoke to Jason the other day, we touched base with him today. So we're waiting for quotes from 2 companies for the flow meters. We sent both companies a map of the manholes that, we spoke to the one company, it came in a little bit, he didn't tell me what, but more expensive than he thought it was gonna be, so now he's found a second company. So we're trying to get quotes on that and get that moving as quick as possible. Bicentennial update, Carrie?
We have our meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the park, just to kind of plan our layout, and then we're also hoping tomorrow to finalize what commemorative items we want to go with, and then we'll get the purchase order in for approval, so we can get those ordered. We have to have them ordered by May, some of them. And then one more thing I might want to, after we vote on the peddling law,
Okay.
update the fee schedule, depending on how it is.
Okay. Indigo Water, so we had 2 meetings, Jason and myself met with Jacob, the Commissioner of Public Works in Middletown, and the mayor. And they pretty much gave us a good overview of the plan. Middletown is not looking to do wells long-term, they're looking to create a new reservoir on county-owned land, that's what the agreement with the county is. So, but they have to do this well testing, and they're also gonna be doing some other environmental stuff as part of this process. One of the things that they did say, the company that's doing it's a worldwide company that specializes in this, CDM. So, the houses that are in that area that have wells, they're actually gonna monitor their wells during this process. And by the way, the study's a year-long study, it's over $1 million, so this is something that's gonna be, so they'll monitor the water levels depending on the pumping that they do. This total project is millions and millions, above $25 million, and they didn't say this, but they kinda indicated if they run someone's well dry, they're just gonna dig them a new one that's a little bit deeper. So, they were very upfront with us, they offered to have us have our engineer there during any of the testing that they wanted. We then met with the county executive's office and the other surrounding towns, and basically had a same kind of meeting, and everybody was on the same page. So it went very well. For our residents, the takeaway would be that they really have nothing to fear at this point. The study is gonna take this all into account, and if there are any problems, then they will certainly try to resolve them as part of this. So I guess they put probes into the wells to monitor them, and everyone will be notified beforehand. So, the meetings went actually very well. Splash pad update, Amanda, did you have anything?
I know they did the, I don't wanna say water testing, they flushed the hydrants, but I don't believe it was a good result.
Yeah.
I think we had too low of pressure, so we're back to the drawing board.
Correct. And did you get the email Brian sent you? So they identified the 2 hydrants they couldn't get open, I guess. All right, so new business. So last meeting, we did the contract with Ehrlichs for this building. So this would be authorized me to sign a contract for the police station, the senior center, and the recreation center. It's $140 a month after a $650 setup. So I need a motion to authorize myself to sign that contract.
I'll make,
Go ahead, Chris.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So, I think it was in February, we passed a resolution to create a splash park reserve fund with $142,000 from unanticipated sales tax from last year. In a bunch of different discussions, we realized that since that is a specific type, and that's the term, capital reserve, we actually have to pass a resolution and also put it out, it's subject to permissive referendum on the front end, and then on the back end, the money can be taken out. So, with Scott, we got a resolution to be read, and I'm gonna turn that over to Kathleen, because it is a rather long resolution.
There's copies. Okay, whereas pursuant to section 6C of the general municipal law as amended, the town of Mount Hope hereinafter the town is authorized to establish, fund, and make use of a reserve fund to accumulate monies to finance the cost of specific capital improvements. And whereas the town board of the town of Mount Hope finds it to be prudent and a matter of responsible planning to set aside funds to be used for financing the specific capital improvements. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Mount Hope as follows. 1, that pursuant to section 6C of the general municipal law as amended, there is hereby established a capital reserve fund to be known as the Town Park Splash Pad Reserve Fund. The purpose of this reserve fund is to accumulate monies to finance the cost of specific capital improvements. These specific capital improvements to be financed from the reserve fund are the construction of bathrooms, changing rooms, and the splash pad at the town park located at 340 Finchville Turnpike, Otisville, New York, 10963. The estimated maximum cost of such capital improvements is $600,000. 2, that the Town of Mount Hope Supervisor, as the Chief Fiscal Officer of the town, is hereby directed to deposit and secure the monies of this reserve fund in the manner provided by Section 10 of the General Municipal Law. The Town Supervisor may invest the monies in the reserve fund in the manner provided by Section 11 of the General Municipal Law and consistent with the investment policy of the Town of Mount Hope. Any interest earned or capital gains realized on the monies so deposited or invested shall accrue to and become part of the reserve fund. The Town Supervisor shall account for the reserve fund in a manner which maintains a separate identity of the reserve fund and shows the date and amount of each sum paid into the fund, interest earned by the fund, capital gains or losses resulting from the sale of investments of the fund, the amount and date of each withdrawal from the fund, and the total assets of the fund, showing cash balance and a schedule of investments, and shall at the end of each fiscal year render to the town board a detailed report of the operation and condition of the reserve fund. That, number 3, that except as otherwise provided by law, the expenditures from this reserve fund shall be made only for the purpose for which the reserve fund is established. No expenditure shall be made from this reserve fund without the approval of the town board, and such additional actions or proceedings as may be required by Section 6C of the General Municipal Law and any other law. 4, that this resolution is subject to permissive referendum pursuant to subdivision 4 of Section 6C of the General Municipal Law. 5, that the town clerk, in order to comply with the permissive referendum requirements contained in subdivision 4 of Section 6C of the General Municipal Law, is hereby authorized and directed to publish one time and post on the signboard of the town this resolution or a summary thereof, together with a notice of adoption of this resolution subject to permissive referendum within 10 days after the date of adoption of this resolution. The question of the adoption of the foregoing resolution is to be duly put to a roll call vote, and then we'll just say that's it.
So this 142, we already voted to do this. This is actually the legal way to do it. And anybody have any questions on this at this point? No? So we need to do a roll call vote, so we need a motion. We need a second? Okay, and then we need to do a roll call. So just start on my left. Jim?
Yay. Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm a yay, and Amanda's a yay. Thank you. Next up, so the first item, or the first vote would be on the proposed local law number 2, if it stays the same, the off-road vehicles. This is an item that we've heard complaints about. We've gone round and round. Scott's done a lot of work with us on this. We've heard from the public now 3 times. I know today no one spoke about it, but we've had people speak previously at the meetings, and I think we fine-tuned it to take everyone's feelings into account. So at this point, I think we need to move forward. So I'd look to seek a motion to approve that local law number 2 as it currently sits of 2025. So we need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed? Everyone approves it, yep. Perfect, thank you. The solicitor's change, which again is just to add the exception from receiving a peddler's license for town events. There's a whole list of them, but this would be another exception. So we need a motion to make that happen.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. Need a motion, so the police are having fireworks, or want to do fireworks for the Night Out Against Crime. This would authorize myself to sign a contract with July 4 Ever Fireworks for $5,000. And actually Senator Skoufis' office has given us a $10,000 grant for National Night Out Against Crime, so there would be no cost to the town for this. So, but I need authorization to sign the contract.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need authorization for myself to sign a renewal with Millennium Millennial.
No, sorry, that was a typo on my part. It's supposed to be Millennium.
All right, I'm sorry, I see it. Millennium Strategies, they're currently the company that we use for our grants and is also our grant writer. No increase, it would be for another 1-year term of $4,800.
Make the
For this.
motion.
Need a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We have a budget mod, can you read that, Kathleen? Sure. Or, yeah.
Increase DB 5130-200 machinery equipment, $2,500. Decrease DB 5130-400 machinery contract expense, $2,500.
Any questions on that? Need a motion?
Make the motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So now we're up to Amy. So Amy's last day is actually, today was your last day?
Yes.
So Amy has been serving the town since 2003. And she's been in the highway department, what'd you say, Andrew, 16 years? 16, the last 16? So we want to recognize you on your last day. So we have a plaque, so if you want to come up and we'll all go down and read the plaque. And we also have cake when we're done, so no one run out. We have cake. Please, everyone stay, so. Mike, I know you'll stay for a piece, right? Sean said he's staying. All right, so I just want to present, why don't you come up here? Present to Amy Hasselmeyer in sincere appreciation for your dedicated service, years of service with the town of Mount Hope. I want to present you this from the town. So congratulations, thank you for everything you've done.
Dean, you should get in the picture too.
Yeah, you want to come up and be in the picture with us?
No, I have my
Can you guys?
Oh, sure.
I know.
Yes. Look at Marie first. And then look at Scott.
She looks like a little kid in front of her too.
Do you want to say anything, Amanda?
That's how I feel, Diane.
Andrew, do you want to say anything else?
I'll just thank you again for showing me the way. Appreciate everything, thank you.
Thank you for everything. And everyone stay for the cake.
I'm really pushing this kid.
All right, so we need a motion to authorize paying abstracts 12, 13, and 14.
I'll make the motion.
Need a second? All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Public participation. Any member of the public would like to come up and say something? You have 3 minutes. Just, you know the drill. Say your name for the record, so Kathleen has it.
Maribeth Rezepa, Otisville, May 4th. The Pocatello Fire Company, in conjunction with the Pocatello Ladies Auxiliary, is doing a pancake breakfast. It's from 7 to noon at the firehouse. It's $10 for adults, $5 for kids and seniors over, I believe it's over 60. And I still have calendars, the lotto calendars. I'll have them through the end of June. Anybody's interested? Facebook, email. See me around town. I always have them with me in my bag. I don't go anywhere without them. So you can get me at meetings, get me here, get me where, if you see me in town, come up to me and say you're interested. I will make it happen.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Anybody else like to come up from the public? Come on up, Diane.
Diane Lover for Mount Hope Seniors at Home Pet Helpers. I know I've thanked Paul personally, but I wanted to do it publicly here for the tables and chairs. Like, come to a meeting, ask for it, and a week later, there they were. Everybody was very excited, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We do have our first trip this Wednesday, so Andrew, this will be your first experience with our taking up all your parking spaces. We have a full bus, so it's gonna be pretty full out there. I will do my best to keep them from parking directly in front of the building, so that those spaces are
You're leaving at
available.
9?
Yeah. And then this Saturday, we have our Spring Fling Boutique over at the senior center from 10 to 3. I think they wound up with 19 vendors because they're using all the extra tables that were just bought, so that's a good thing. And so we're looking forward to that. This is the first year we've done it in the spring. We used to do it in the winter, figuring, well, it was downtime, not much going on. And that was great, except, one year there was an ice storm, and so we decided perhaps it was better to try a spring event. The downside is there's a lot of other events going on the same day, so we'll see how it goes. And talking about the vendor events, I had a question about the one bicentennial celebration. I don't know exactly what's planned for that day. Is it the kind of thing, now I'm switching to my hometown helper hat, by the way, where not-for-profits would be participating?
Absolutely.
So if hometown helpers wanted to have like a small fundraiser of some sort, that would be
Yes,
appropriate?
absolutely.
Okay, so we'll start talking about that and see. Since it comes right on the back of our other two fundraisers, it may be tough getting people to volunteer, but we'll talk about it and see what we can do. And is there a fee for setting up? That was the only
Not for
other thing.
not-for-profits.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Diane. Anybody else like to come up? No,
Allison Miller, Town Mount Hope. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the splash pad. What is the target age range for using that?
I
well,
don't really have
yeah,
an age in mind, because I want it to be accessible to, like if grandparents have their kids, like I want the grandparents to be able to take the kids. So if the grandparents wanna run around the splash pad with the kids, then it should be more than accessible. I mean, I don't think teenagers are really gonna wanna go to a splash pad generally, but as residents, I don't see why they still couldn't if they wanted to, as long as they're appropriate with it.
Okay, so there's not really a target age range in mind at this point. What is the?
I think also too, like people or with disabilities might cause the age range to shift a little bit depending on your, whatever your circumstances might change a little bit. So we haven't really gotten drilled that far down into that piece of it.
I think usually the targeted age is probably under 10, but
Yeah.
we're not going to age restrict it, I think is what you.
I think that was kind of what I was
Right.
asking. I mean, I was envisioning children
Yes,
using it
yes.
for the most part. Okay.
Yes.
And what is the time frame that it would be able to be open here?
Like in terms of,
Month to month, like what are we talking?
like June
June to-
to September.
Okay, so
Roughly.
4 months
Yeah,
or
roughly.
so?
Yep.
Just because that's a really big dollar amount that I've heard tossed around here, like I think it was $400,000 a few meetings ago, and then tonight I know it was $600,000, so if we're talking like $500,000 that's being spent on something, I hope it would be something that could be used by many, many, many residents, not
So-
some, it sounds very narrow is my concern.
It's a combination, so the part of it and part of the expense is for the building that will have bathrooms to service the football field. It's on that side, so the bathrooms is one of the reasons that we're doing a combination, so it's not really that narrow. We anticipate, and the building will be winterized enough so that we can use them till the end of their football season, which hopefully will be like the beginning
So
of
that
December.
definitely makes, I think, a lot more sense.
Correct, it's a
Because I think when we hear
combination.
that number for a splash pad is open for 4 months, people might get a little nervous, but I think it definitely makes sense.
And-
It's a winterized building for bathrooms that can be multi-use.
Correct, and Senator Skoupis has given us 200 towards that already, so,
Good.
so
I
we are.
think that's important for people to know that, because all of a
Right,
sudden, right,
and the
this is-
600 is the max, and we're required to have a max in the resolution for the local, for the, capital reserve fund.
Mhm.
So that's why we had to come up with a number, so when the engineers gave us the total numbers, we wanted to make sure we didn't exceed it. We do believe it's gonna come in closer to between 4 and 5, but,
And Senator Skoufis has already given you 200.
well, as you know how that
I
process
do
works.
know how grants work, but he has.
So it's been submitted to DASNY, so maybe we'll get
Say no
it.
more, I know how DASNY works, so
Correct.
maybe in the next 5
He has
years
given
we'll
us
get money.
a
Okay.
commitment
Okay.
from his office, and DASNY has gotten the paperwork. I'm not expecting a check in the next 2 weeks.
Nor should you.
Correct.
I do know
As
that.
you know how that works,
I
but
do.
it is, so committed is however you wanna,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, it's, yes, he's committed 200,000, but we physically don't have the money at this
Right.
point.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? Jamie? Ryan? Anything? All right, anybody else? Nothing? All right, so board comments. So I just wanted to bring up 2 things real quick. So for the first time this year, we're having a ZBA meeting. So on May 7th, 2 items are going to be, at least 2 items at the ZBA. So we're hoping to get that also on video. They've agreed to do that, but that'll be something as well. The other thing is, and we have to have a discussion on this, and I think maybe in an upcoming meeting, is on park use. We voted to not rent out the park in terms of as a large scale a few meetings back. And there's some requests to rent out the park. And they were gonna come tonight, they didn't come tonight, so we gotta get a sense of what are we looking to do? Stick to the no rental, or do we wanna designate an area of the park where people can have events? So, just throwing that out there, so, that's all I had. I'll start on my right now, Amanda? Nothing?
I would like to update the food and beverage rental cost for the bicentennial, because we had split it into a $25 vendor fee and a $25 peddler's license fee, as opposed to a $50 fee. But now I'd like to make it a $50 fee, since they don't have to get a peddler's license, so go back to our original fee, which we had set before, of a $50 fee for food and beverage vendors at bicentennial.
Okay, so we need a motion, you'll make the
I'll make the
motion? Amanda, second? All in
Yep.
favor?
Yes.
Aye, opposed, so carried, so it's the same $50, but not being broken up, okay?
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope, that was all I had.
All right, Chris?
I apologize because I meant to bring up about the ZBA, but I will have that on video. And once we have the agenda, I'll put that on. I have nothing else.
So just to come back to the ZBA, so there's been some questions, and I had, my office got a few questions of a cutoff date when people can submit for the ZBA to act. I've spoken to the chairperson, Mr. Galligan, and they currently do not have one. It's kind of been at the discretion of the secretary, but after speaking to Alex Smith, who's the attorney for them, they're gonna actually set up a date structure, for lack of a better word, at their next meeting for them to determine. So that's something that will also be on their agenda in addition to the projects that are there. So if anyone's interested in that piece, be sure to go to the meeting. And that's it, so we're looking for a motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Don't go anywhere, we got cake.
Don't let them out.
I did not, but I know what happens, it gets left and then I start eating it all the next day. I do not need any more than one piece.
Yes.